Hi, my name is Ivan, and I am your host for Part B of this presentation. In a second experiment, researchers tried to determine if the second larger request had to be similar to the first request in order to gain the same level of compliance. They also wanted to determine if they would see the same results when a different person made the second request. The experimenters created 5 groups and went to people's homes to make one of the following requests of them. One group was asked to put up a small sign in their window, and that sign said, "Keep California Beautiful." Another group was asked to sign a petition to keep California beautiful. A third group was asked to put up a small sign that said, "Drive carefully." And the fourth group was asked to sign a petition for legislation for people to drive carefully. Now, the subjects were approached 2 weeks later by different experimenters, asking them to put up a large, unsightly sign in their front yard that said, "Drive carefully." As you can tell, the subjects who agreed to the first request for Keep California Beautiful are now being asked to put up a sign for a completely different topic. Now, there was also a fifth group, and that was the control group, and this group did not have the first small request presented to them. Now, the researchers, they predicted that where the requests were similar, even when requested by different people, that those situations would produce the highest level of compliance. Now, the results of what the experiment showed is first that the second request, it doesn't have to be made by the same person. And the second thing they discovered is that the large request doesn't have to be similar to the first request. In short, what this experiment showed is that in making the first smaller request, that increases the likelihood that the subject will also comply with a second larger request. Now, this technique of asking a small request first has become known as the foot in the door technique, and it is used extensively in sales today. It's used in politics. It's used by us in personal situations where we try to persuade family and friends to comply with some of our requests. And it's also used in social situations where we try to persuade acquaintances to comply with our request. And sometimes we may use this as an icebreaker where we'll ask a small favor so that we could ask a larger request afterwards that they're more likely to oblige. Now, one of the reasons why scientists believe this foot in the door technique works is because once a person agrees to the request, their attitude changes, and it changes to alleviate any cognitive dissonance they may be experiencing. They may begin to think of themselves as, "Hey, I'm the type of person that does this type of a thing," or "I'm the type of person who acts on what I believe in." Now, this changed attitude puts them in a more willing position to agree to greater action, or at least agree to the second request. Now, this concludes my portion of the presentation, but please continue to follow the instructions in your handout, and thank you very much for listening.